Kieran, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to chat.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for setting this whole thing up. I appreciate it.
I think I speak for both of us because special guest Susie is with me doing
Hey
this.
everyone.
I think I speak for both. We're so excited. It's just trying to figure things out, and here we are.
Technology. Curse it.
Always something.
I know.
It's all right. We made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We will have a part two at some point in the future, just trying to figure out when eventually.
Yeah. My schedule's crazy right now. Oh.
We
It's all right.
understand. All right. My first question, before you were a part of the game, Mystery of the Seven Keys, had you heard of Nancy Drew or the Hardy Boys before?
Of course. I have heard of Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. They're obviously icons of mystery. And while I wasn't necessarily the biggest reader of the Nancy Drew series, um, I played some of the video games briefly when I was a kid. Um, and I know my mom really loves Nancy Drew. So, yeah, I believe that answers your question. I had heard of them before.
Wait, do you remember what you had played?
Oh, no. No, it's in the haze of childhood, which
It was
is,
that brief.
it wasn't even that brief. It's just I don't remember what I had for dinner yesterday. So,
I
uh,
understand.
yeah.
That's okay. Have you played Mystery of the Seven Keys?
I have not yet, but I have an access key. Uh, Fun joke there.
Key.
Thank
I
you,
get
thank
it.
you, thank you. Appreciate it. No, I have an access code key to buy and play the game. I've just been trying to find the time to like truly sit down and digest this. It's funny, most of the games or things that I'm in, I don't consume. Um, Maybe because there's a bit of embarrassment about my
Yeah.
performance and things I can do better, but other things it's like when I'm not in the booth, I'd much rather like be on a walk or
Yeah.
going rock climbing or when I played rugby, playing rugby.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, it's a whole I I try to distance myself from the digital space as much as possible.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm making my parents proud.
That's a good thing. And we really are going to need like a decent chunk of time to play the game too.
Hmm.
Um, Particularly if you're playing it like to play it and to enjoy it and not to
Yeah.
like speed run through it just to say you've done it. It takes a really good amount of time.
Well, it takes, it's a wonderful story
Yeah.
and it should be experienced and
Hmm.
obviously the clues are all there. It's a
Hmm.
mystery game, so in order to fully digest it, you really have to be present.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just be like, ugh, vomit at the screen and be like, here, take
Yep.
my free time. I can't think. You know what I mean? I'd rather
Hmm.
be in a very cognitive place to digest that information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been to Prague before?
No, I have not. I have wanted to go for quite some time, but I have never been to Prague. I used to be a photographer. That was my main job, and then voiceover happened, and it was just like, okay, I'll do this. There's a much longer story to that, but I would get videos of Prague and like the architecture specifically, or the nature and the beauty of the mountains that surround, um, and just oh, I really, really wanted to go. Um, one of these days, one of these
Yeah.
days.
I think it's been on the top of every like Nancy Drew fans list of places to go in the last, I don't know, year and a half.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. It was
yeah.
It's I mean, gorgeous, beautiful. Talk about history.
Yeah.
There's so much history in that city, so much history in that area. Geographically, it's just like when you're in school and you're learning about these places, uh, you're like, "Ah, I'm a dumb American. They don't exist out of the United States." And then you're like, wait, there's places that are older than the McDonald's that's been here since the 90s, you know?
Literally. Oh my gosh. I know. Oh my
Yeah.
word. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you learn much during your time being Radek? Like was there like time when you were like, wow, I'm actually like getting something from this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole part of the story where I have to tell part of the history.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I have to do it in some fun, funky ways. Uh, and I mean, I won't say what it is, but if you play the game, listener, you will absolutely have a riot. It's a very good time. So
It's a fun part.
first, yeah, that whole like history just vomit. Um,
It was amazing. It was one of my favorite parts of the game. Like that
oh
puzzle was
yeah.
so fun.
Well, as okay, so I do Dungeons and Dragons. I play D&D. And giving the history of a nation or the
Mm-hmm.
history of a city to my players in a either a goofy or a serious way. I call history vomit because it is just a deluge of
Mm-hmm.
information.
Yeah.
Um, but making it fun and entertaining, that was my favorite part.
Oh,
Also, when I was researching for the role, because I think there was like 5 rounds of callbacks.
wow.
Um, yeah, they wanted something very specific for
Wow.
obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Um, when I was researching for the role, once I got it, it was like, okay, what does it mean to be a marionette? What does it mean to be a puppeteer? Like, what does it mean to make this your living? And as a artist myself, you can kind of relate to the fact that, you know, being a starving artist in a city trying to showcase the history of your people through a very niche medium can be
Mm-hmm.
difficult.
Yeah.
Um, and so it garnered a lot of sympathy for the character from me there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he's just, it's expression, it's self expression. So
Yeah.
I learned a lot about the history of puppeteering,
Mm.
and then a lot about the history of proc.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, for anyone who hasn't played the game, you guys will absolutely love this puzzle. It is so informative and just so much fun. And if you have played the game, then I'm sorry if you hated that part because it was great.
If you hated that part, let's meet outside.
When you first saw your game rendering picture of your character, what did you think of it?
He's attractive.
He is.
He's very attractive. And I was like, man, he would be an easy cosplay.
Yeah.
Because it's just a yellow sweater and blue jeans, basically, or tan jeans, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Literally. We actually all did it. So
oh
fun
yeah,
story for you.
let me hear
The
it.
moment like literally the moment that we saw your character for the first time, me and a couple of other of the crazier people in the fandom decided to immediately cosplay as Radek, and we all
Hmm.
took out of like what we had in our closet at that moment, and we did are you familiar with the Spider-Man meme where he's like
Yes, very
we did
familiar.
that with all of us dressed as Radek. One of them was a dog. Like it was
That's
amazing.
I saw the dog. I saw the
Yes.
dog. I was like,
Yes.
that's incredible. I love this so much.
Yeah.
I was, I think, okay, I'm stumbling over my words here. When I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's attractive. And then I was like, oh, this is like a low budget Arthur cosplay. Because I remember like the fist and the yellow sweater. And I'm like, oh wow, we're just like one step away from Arthur here.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I never put that together.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking when I first saw it. I'm like, oh, I am getting one step closer to my childhood.
Oh man. Now I know what my next sticker is gonna be.
That would be a good meme. Radek
Yeah.
is just like his fist
Right.
down below
Yes.
when people insult puppeteering.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my word. I'm totally making that, Alexa. I'm sorry. You can do your next question, Alexa. I took that over.
It's okay. How much, I don't know if you can say, did you get much information on your character, like when you went in to record?
I was given a very brief synopsis of my character when I auditioned, probably like a paragraph, maybe two, and then the lines. But obviously it's a Nancy Drew game. Things are code named even within the audition itself because word gets out that, you know, such and such is such and such, or they did this thing, or the mystery is spoiled.
Yeah.
And so until I am finalized in the cast, the contract has been signed, and so is the paperwork. They don't want to give me that information so readily.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, even when the video came out and people saw my face, I wasn't able to talk about it because I wasn't privy to spoil that information, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but when I got into the recording studio, they finally sat me down and told me where my character arc was going. And they kept me on my toes. They would say, "All right, and now you're here, but you don't know what's going to happen next. And now you're here, but you don't know what's going to happen next." So those moments of surprise were truly surprising for me in the
Wow.
game. Yeah, very fun.
So I have a follow-up question to that. Obviously without spoilers, with you having not played the game yet
Mhm.
and with having not had like entirely all the context, do you know how the story goes? Do you know how the mystery ends?
So I asked that question, uh, and they said you have to play the game. And so while I am a part of the story, I am not sure how the story ends. I have some theories because I theorize, but uh, it is one of those things where I don't entirely know.
Yeah.
And that's also a part of the recording process as well. You are one person recording for one character,
Mhm.
generally speaking to one other person.
Yeah.
Obviously, Radek spoke to Nancy most of the time.
Mhm.
Because who isn't speaking to Nancy?
Yeah, literally.
um, so I know very well what my story with Nancy is,
Mhm.
but you know, with everybody else in the surrounding, I'm kind of kept away from.
Mm.
I'm not like a story supervisor or a
Yeah.
producer. I'm just a little chess piece that they get to move me around. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. Wow. Man, that would have spurred me on so hard. I would have been like, I need to play this right now. But then I'm not a voice actor, so
That's
I don't
very
know.
fair. That's very fair. No, yeah, I think I reiterate. I'll reiterate. I don't play a lot of the games that I'm a
Yeah.
part of, but thankfully, the team has been so kind, in giving me access to play the game and
Mhm.
encouraging me to play it. And it will happen one
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
when I'm probably on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so fun.
All right. I do have so many more questions, but
I can stay on for like
obviously,
another 10 minutes. I'll just text my friend real quick.
All
Here. Because we're having a good conversation.
right.
That's the thing. I don't do a lot of interviews, um, because various reasons. Um, but if I'm having a good time, which I am, then I can push things around. But sometimes
Oh.
interviews are like, I'll be like, "Hey, here are things I can't talk about," and immediately I talk about the thing you can't talk about, and I'm
Oh.
like, guys, it happens way more often than I'd care to admit.
Well, I see why you have kind of a distaste for interviews then.
I love them. I love interviews and I love talking to people. I just
Yeah.
love good interviewers.
Yeah. That makes people who are able to respect your
Mm.
boundaries.
And not trying to get me to say things that'll get me, what's the word? Get like an internet reaction.
Oh, yeah.
So like
Yeah.
if I ship a couple of characters or things like that, I can't
Oh,
do.
that's so wild.
Yeah, I can't talk about that because there's people who will take that and be like, this is canon now.
Mm,
Um,
that's so scary. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of legalese that comes with it. So
Ugh. Great. Good times.
Um, for people that might be interested in any kind of voiceover, like acting and things like that,
mm.
do you have any advice for them?
So it depends. If you're interested in voiceover just as a start, get a microphone, buy some blankets from Goodwill, clear out your walk-in closet, or what I did, which was my coat closet, and just start recording yourself. See how it feels. There's a wonderful website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. I
Easy enough.
also, yeah, it's great. It's so easy. It's set by D. Bradley Baker, who's like the
Oh,
voice of Perry the
oh my
Platypus and
God.
also Appa and Momo. He's incredible.
He's amazing.
He's so good. So him and then Crispin Freeman's podcast, Voice Acting Mastery, is a great way to learn the ins and out of this business. But if you're already listening to this, I assume you have an interest in voiceover. And so my biggest advice would be to just play.
Mm,
The people and the stories that you are going to tell and interact with, you're creating an experience for the audience, right?
mhm,
And play can be dramatic play, it can be happy play, it can be funny where you put on a weird voice. But if the listener can tell that you, as the voice actor, are having a good time or are really connected, they can hear that. Um, and so for me, when I started voiceover, it was okay, I'm behind a microphone. How do I let loose? How do I unclench my gut? How do I breathe? Breathing is so important. Um, so it's play, and then if you can do theater, do theater.
mm,
Whether community or college or high school or middle school or all theater is very helpful to learn the process of performing in front of an audience, what it means to portray a character, what it means to bring something to life and be in the moment. Um, I took a theater class in college. I did not want to become an actor. I kind of fell into it. My graphic design and photography, uh, I was fine. I was really good at it, but it wasn't me.
yeah.
And I took, excuse me, and I took a theater class in college for public performance about giving a PowerPoint presentation, basically, how to make business people really like you, what you have to say. And the guy who taught it was a theater teacher. He said, audition for the show after I gave a presentation. And I was like, okay. And when I do something, I never half-ass it. So I truly went to audition for it. I memorized lines, I put effort in, I uh then I ended up booking a part, and to the chagrin of probably a lot of the theater people, because I was in college, so there's a theatrical school, and so this graphic designer comes in and snatches a role out from under you. Um, and then from there, COVID hit,
Oh,
and I couldn't do photography because I'm stuck inside, and I couldn't do graphic design because the job market was trash. And so I was stuck working a midnight to 8 a.m. packaging plant job, running a printer the size of a bedroom. Um, and because of that, it was like midnight to 8 a.m.
ugh.
No supervisor, no nothing. And so I just show up and I'd watch a bunch of animations, and I have I could show you my phone, but I have like hundreds upon hundreds of like characters that I've recorded on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was an obsession for a while. Uh yeah, but that's just me playing around. It's like you're
Yeah.
a kid in a sandbox. So,
Yeah.
um it goes back to the original point, which is just to play.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, first of all, I relate. I was a graphic designer as well and a photographer. I still do photography on the side, but
Mhm.
Marcus trash. And
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I left that. I'm a bridal stylist now, so it's totally different tracks.
That's
Of course, you went
totally
in a totally
different.
different
Yeah.
way, but totally relates. And like that resonated. But so then from there, from when you
Mhm.
like started to play with it, when did you make it from play to real? Like what was your
Good point.
experience there?
So I had been playing around for a while, and I took my first class in November of 2020
Okay.
with Crispin Freeman, who I have good instincts, and I also don't understand risk, which is for better or worse, meaning I do me.
Yeah.
Even when they ask for somebody else, I'm like, I can only bring me to this. So,
Hmm. No, that
um,
sounds healthy.
it's healthy.
Yeah.
It's also like, you got to come at it with a grain of salt. I'm not like a
Yeah.
character actor, I guess. I just
Yeah.
do the roles that I can relate to.
Yeah.
Um, I took a class in 2020 with Crispin Freeman in November, and then I got my demo made, which is a demo is basically a business card for your voice.
Yeah.
Has 6 to 8 voices on it in a minute, and you give those to prospective clients, agents, whoever. And then I booked my first paid role in December, which was just for this animation called Norian's Inn. And it was online, it's COVID, and then I got fired in
Oh,
January of 2021. And the day that I got fired, I booked my first audiobook.
oh, nice.
Um, and with Ian Kirkpatrick, and she's incredible. Love her. Uh, the amount of money I made on that audiobook was able to sustain me where I was living in Kansas for 2 months.
Nice.
And so I'm like, all right, I have 2 months before I have to go do delivery driving. And 2 months before I have basically just like, I'm just going to make ends meet, see what I can do with these 2 months.
Yeah.
And since then, I haven't had to look back. Um,
Wow. Good for you.
yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But then again, I do put my 100% in everything. Um,
Hmm.
so when I audition, it's like, that's what I'll give you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And when I'm learning, I'm truly trying to pick apart pieces of information that'll help me along my journey.
Yeah.
Because in the end, this is just a way to better express myself.
Hmm.
Um, and so that audiobook allowed me to like financially rely on voiceover for 2 months. And then because of that, and
Yes.
the stimulus check was super important. It allowed me to buy a microphone.
There you go.
Um, and then I got an approved home setup from a audio engineer. And then I started applying to agencies, and I got lucky. And it's a lucky. I don't understand risk. Um, but I another story. I did something so stupid. But I got in with an agent, uh, and they started sending me auditions, and it took about a year and a half of auditioning before I really started like booking work
Hmm.
consistently. I'd
Yeah.
book maybe once every 3 months in the interim. But once I moved out to LA and people could bring me in studio, even though it's 2022, which is still like, post fall of the peak of pandemic, but it's still
Yeah.
the pandemic. Um, Even though that's the case, uh, I was more sought after because I could go in studio to these projects.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Come on up.
Hopefully that's a good answer to your question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great story. And I'm so glad to hear that, like, I mean, you have pretty humble beginnings. So it's pretty great to hear that it's worked out so well for you. And I hope that it continues to work well.
Well, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, it was a long part of like I kept on thinking I would have to change myself, change who
Mm.
I am to fit these roles. And that has not been the case. It's more been I have to discover who I am
Mm.
to bring forth my own experiences and what I find funny or what I find important to tell with these characters.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, to tie it back to Nancy Drew with Radek, obviously 5 rounds of callbacks, right?
Yeah.
And the reason being, I think the reasons why I booked it is because he speaks to me on such an oh God, I'm talking to someone new for the first time kind of level. And
Yeah.
I just want you to like me.
Yeah.
Um, and I think everyone was trying to play that up uh in a non-realistic way.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you want someone to like you, it's not necessarily like you're like, oh God, please like me. Right. That comes off as annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more like, hi, I want you to like me. It's that kind of like tension that's like, cool. And then the awkward
Yes.
silence, right? That's where Radek lives in my mind. And then I was trying to do a voice match to a particular celebrity because that's what they were looking for.
Wow.
Um, and I dropped it. I just did me. And I think that's what made me book it because I wasn't trying to be someone else.
That's amazing. I'm assuming you can't tell us who that is, right?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay, I want to ask. I have a guess. But yeah, that's really cool. So as Radek, did you, like, through the whole experience, like from start to finish, do you feel like you still resonated with the character, or did you feel like you
Yeah.
changed more?
No, I resonated with him from the beginning.
That's
Um,
amazing.
because I used to make puppets.
No way.
As a kid, I swear to God, I used to like I used to get paper, printer paper, cut them out into little circular tubes, and this is at like TLC, and then draw with marker these people with different jobs, and then I would have like 10. You probably can't see this because this is on Spotify, but I would have like 10 puppets on my hands, one for each finger, and they'd all be talking to each other. And
Wow.
that was like me and like when I was like 7. My ADHD was rampant. Um,
Amazing.
uh, and then I used to make videos of I asked for a puppet when I was 9 for Christmas, and so my parents found me one that I could uh like pilot basically.
Wow.
Um, And so, yeah, that was pretty. I was like, oh, I resonate with you. I
This
love
role was made for
puppets.
you.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
That's so great.
I think that's all the questions I have for now.
cool.
Until next time.
Until next time, for
Oh,
sure.
we've got lists for next time.
Lovely. Well,
Here, go ahead.
I was, I was gonna say, well, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for giving me this space and asking me such wonderful questions. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much
You-
for joining us. It's been so wonderful to chat with you, and can't wait to chat with you more.
Yes, part 2 will come in soon.
Thank you, Kieran, once again for joining. It was so much fun.
Likewise. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Kieran, thank you so much for joining. I'm so happy you could be here.
Thank you for having me.
And welcome back, Susie, who's also
Hi.
joining.
Always glad to be here, Alexa.
We love Susie.
We love Kieran.
I think we should just jump right in.
All right.
My first question is, how did you become interested in the voiceover world?
That's a long story. I'll try to keep it brief. I wasn't interested in voice acting. I really loved cartoons, but I didn't know that you could become a voice actor until college when I discovered Critical Role. And so I watched Critical Role. They have this thing called Between the Sheets, the interviews with the other voice actors, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. I'm never gonna do that. Um, and then I was forced to take a theater class for a communications credit in college. So I took theater for public performance with David Ruiz at the University of Kansas. And I was good at giving presentations. So he convinced me to audition for the show.
Mm.
And the show's theatrical, it was a show, it was called Sycorax. And I auditioned, got in. I had never auditioned for anything in my life. But I worked really hard on that monologue. And then during the show, uh, and after, I ended up receiving 3 theatrical minor credits for a theater major because I designed the puppet show and I documented the whole process. Because of that, I now had 3 credits for a minor, and that was about as much as I had for my other minor. I'm like, well, this one's really fun, so I'm going to do this one as well. And so I got a minor in art history and a minor in theater by pursuing that. Graduated into the pandemic, which was rough because I had just gotten accepted into the Great River Shakespeare Festival
Wow.
as a Shakespeare performer. It would have been lovely. I was like, wow, there's actually a future here for me in this career, even if it is unpaid. I get to live in Minnesota for free and
That's
uh,
so cool.
right and perform
Yeah.
here. And then the pandemic happened and theater
Ah.
shit. And sorry, can I cuss?
I don't mind. I don't know about Alexa.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, cool. I'll try to keep it on the down low. But sometimes a F word slips out here and there. But theater when was not happening.
Mhm.
And so I was like, how do I do this voice? Like, how do I do this acting thing? And voiceover was the outlet. Use the stimulus check to get some padding and a basic microphone, and then use the second stimulus check to get a second microphone that was way better, and moved into a better sounding space. Ended up getting fired from my job. I was working this midnight to 8 a.m. shift at a packaging plant. It was awful. Got fired from my job because I was a seasonal worker.
Mm.
Um, and the day I got fired was the day I booked my first audiobook with Ian Kirkpatrick. And I also booked my first animation with Jack Smith. And that was kind of the, I don't know, the sign that you're on the right path
Mhm.
for me that I needed, where it's like, oh, hey, here's 2 projects that'll pay 3 months of rent in Kansas. And
Incredible.
I can live off of that. And so I didn't look for another job really. I picked up some part-time shifts as a delivery driver,
Mm.
but I mainly was just focusing on auditions and doing as many audiobooks as I could and doing as many voices as I could. Got a agent pretty quick. I was lucky on that department. I worked really hard for it, but I was lucky. Mixture of both. And then I signed with them knowing that, or I didn't sign with them. I was freelancing with them under the agreement that I would move out to Los Angeles whenever they wanted me to, which was
Wow.
4 months into after I had started first talking with them. So August of 2021. And now
Wow,
I've
okay.
been in LA since. So
Nice. That's
yeah.
incredible. Wow, what a story.
Thanks.
So you've been doing this for several years now. Do you have one experience in voice acting that like stands out about the others as like this was your favorite thing you ever did?
Uh, there's an experience that stands out with me in terms of teaching. Uh,
Okay.
and that was when I was in a class with Crispin Freeman. And I had like $500 to my name and I spent $250 on this class. It was
Mhm.
really like I was here and I'm learning and I
Yeah.
really want to get the most out of my money. Um, and he talked about physicality and he approached me where I was at, where he was like, I can tell you can act, but you sound very stiff.
Mm,
The problem is you are not using your body to convey the meaning. And what I mean by that is he's 15 feet away from you, and yet you haven't changed projection from when he was 5 feet away from you.
mm,
And you haven't changed projection from when he was a foot away from you. You aren't envisioning the scene in a physical sense. I was like, oh my God, I can do that. And so I did the next read of that with those in mind, and he's like, there it is. And I was like, so I just need to do that for everything. Uh, and then I proceeded to then lose that for like 3 months and be like, where was my magic? Um, and then I ended up booking the other stuff as well. That was after I got fired from my job. So,
Nice.
uh,
Wow,
yeah.
that's incredible. Short follow-up question. Do you have like a dream role that you hope you can do?
I love to do Spider-Man.
Oh, that would be so I could see you as a Spider-Man.
Right? I think I
Yeah.
could do Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like it would be so doable for me. Um, Whether it's like the physicality, I need to become a gymnast. I used to do gymnastics, so maybe.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
and then or I think I got the voice too. So it's just like give me this or Beast Boy. Beast Boy would be awesome. Um,
That'd be cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
those are my two kind of dream roles, a Spider-Man or
I
Beast
love that. Oh, my son would love you.
Your son and I are the same brain.
Yes, my 2.5-year-old.
Yeah, we're all babies.
Absolutely.
When you're recording for a role, do you prefer to record on your own or with a group of people?
Very rarely do I get to record with a group of people. Most of the time I do record on my own, so that's what I'm used to. When I get to record with a group of people, I get to act off of other people. And so my brain is doing less work and I'm more in tune with the character and what my partner is saying.
Mm,
So I prefer to act with others because what they give will inform and acting is reacting. So you'll get much clearer depictions of scenes and lines and moments if you're with someone else. So I prefer to act with others. But end up acting by myself because that's the nature of voiceover.
mm. There goes those acting lessons we were talking about before we started recording.
No, 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 they're very helpful.
Yeah.
Because you have to imagine the scene. And so, if we're talking about like two characters in a scene and they're interacting, I have to hear what they're saying in order to respond, even if it's
Mhm.
just in my head. So I
Mhm.
have like thousands of stupid little me's in here.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Wait, so with Mystery of the Seven Keys, did
Mhm.
you record with Brittany Cox or did you record alone?
Recorded alone.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. They will sometimes play like lines
Mhm.
beforehand to give us context. But for the most part, it's like every other normal vocal recording session. You're recording alone at separate times, and then it's all put together in post.
Wow. So did they have you just like give a lot of different inflections, or like do like to give you a lot of direction? Like I can't, I'm not a voice actor. I can't wrap my head around like how I would make that happen, you know?
Yeah, well, context is everything.
Yeah.
So just acting notes, but context is everything, and then your director is the head of the ship.
Hmm.
I am but a cog in a wheel. The cog can provide creative input, but for the most part, I'm here to serve a function.
Mm.
And I can make the director's job easier by understanding like scene interpretation. Uh, and your partner's behind you, I think. Someone was looking through your window.
Oh my God.
I was like, are you okay? Like, we need to talk about this. I don't want this to become a slasher fic.
No, no,
Like,
it's my husband, I'm sure.
okay, cool.
I'm sorry.
That was so funny.
I'm so used to seeing Susie's like streams and stuff on YouTube, and then her husband just like walking by in the
Yeah.
background, where but not like through the window, just like literally right behind you, Susie. That was just a little kind of different this time.
I
Yeah,
literally I poked my head into the garage before we got on and I said, "Hey, don't come in."
that's funny. That's so funny.
I'm sorry.
I love him. He's great.
He is. He's pretty funny.
Because he looked and he's just like, who is this man? And why is he staring at me?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
For you.
Anyway.
Actually, I had a funny little thing as you were just explaining, Kieran, about kind of like with you being part of like the puppeteering and stuff with the marionettes in the game.
Mm.
You, this may sound weird, but you seem like, you were explaining all the different roles with the behind the scenes stuff. You're like one of the little puppets, and then everyone else is like the upper people.
Yeah, it's a vision that happens quite a lot. Very rarely will you get an actor, director, editor, producer, photographer mix. You're most of the time just going to serve one function within a project, unless you are ingrained within it. The job that I bring is I can get the lines that you give me based off of the character that I've envisioned in my head. I can deliver those lines in a fun, exciting, unique, interesting way that matches the scene that we're playing. Because it's not like they're just like, all right, now act, boyo. They're like, all right. Our director is much kinder than that by going, all right, your scene is you're outside of your cart. There's people walking by. You want to make sure you get this person's attention. And so you shout, hey, over here, you know? Uh, and so that way it's not like we're just doing, hey, over here in as many different ways as possible to see what fits. Um, that's usually more for commercial acting.
Mm.
Commercial voiceover, you're like, all right, and how many times can I say Pepsi? I think the most takes I've ever had for a line is I did this Kleenex commercial. Um, I think it's airing now. Uh, but I think I did 42 takes, and each of those takes has 3 different runs of the line.
Okay.
So it's like probably 120 different versions of the line.
How many times can you say Kleenex?
It was what was like I should have it memorized at this point. Oh, I'm a first grade teacher. Of course, my students pick their nose, stick their boogers in the sand and say they got boogie fingies.
Oh God.
I said that 115 times.
Oh my God.
At least.
Wow, that's why like at the point where things start becoming not words anymore.
No, yeah, totally. At some point I was just like, I know the beeper. How this you know? Uh but yeah, no, they usually don't do that for character stuff because if there's something that's not clicking and it's taking you like 20 to 30 tries, and it's happened to me to get a line, then either the director needs to get a bit more specific and really help the actor through, what they're envisioning, or we need to revisit
Mhm.
because whatever's happening isn't coming across,
Yeah.
you know?
So you just did all those amazing baseball things. Like, did
Yeah.
that did that have any aspect of that, or did you like what was that like? Tell us about that.
So yeah, for you loyal listeners, I just got to announce that I am the voice of the Dodger dog for the Los Angeles Dodgers, which
Pretty
I
cool.
have a fun story with that.
Okay.
And I'm also the voice of the Home Run Derby down in Texas. And if you were watching the Home Run Derby, my the team over at ESPN and T-Mobile put together this spot that honors the love that we have of home runs. Um, with the Home Run Derby spot, I was really excited because I might not be like the biggest baseball fan, but I grew up going to like Dodgers games and I grew up like watching statistics of baseball. And so when they're, when I got this like spot in my inbox to audition for the Home Run Derby, I'm like, yeah, it's home runs. They're sick. I love home runs. Who doesn't? And that's the energy they went with. And thankfully, the director was fully down for my shenanigans. And usually, because it's like a promo spot. And so with promos, you're usually like, I am the voice of I am the voice of TNT. Welcome to streaming. Like that kind of
Hmm.
thing. And I can force that. It doesn't sound good.
Hmm.
Um, but for this one, I'm just like, home runs are sick. And they're like, we love that. We love that energy. Bring that to our promo spot. And so that's probably the most grounded, natural promo read you're ever gonna freaking hear.
I loved it. It was there was so much heart to it. And I mean, I don't have cable, so I never watched like baseball games, but like I love to go to baseball games and it made me want to watch some baseball. So
Right? It's like,
yeah.
this is so cool.
Mhm.
What a dream. And then my dad's
Yeah.
really proud. Uh
Oh.
it's funny, depending on what role or what spot I announce, different people will comment like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever." And so generally if it's commercials or sports, my dad's like, "Yeah, look at my son." Um,
That's the cutest.
it's very cute. It's very
Yeah.
cute. He wasn't like that when I first started acting.
Yeah,
He's now hopped on the bandwagon, but he was
that's
kind of a
awesome.
naysayer at first.
Yeah.
Still kind of is, but yeah.
We love to see character growth.
Now, right?
Yeah.
And then with the Dodger dog line, I remember booking that because of my improv. And the first line is citizens of LA and Dodger fans across the world. I am honored to be the hottest dog of the decade. Right? That's the first line.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, there's not really anything funny about that. That's just genuine.
Mhm.
And so how do I make this funny? Oh, I got an idea. And so I went, citizens of LA and Dodger fans across the world. Sup? I am honored to be the hottest dog of the decade. Rest in pieces to all the dogs who died before me in the arms of a hot dog.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And so I ended up booking that and I was like, oh, that's fun. I feel so validated because I
Yeah.
brought my own creative input to this character and they really liked it. Of course, they didn't keep any of it, but they're like, oh, I just want to
Yeah.
work with this guy because he's funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. I love it. There's that acting again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acting.
I have a bit of a fun question.
Okay.
Are you able to say anything in Czech?
Ooh.
Ha ha ha. No.
Put you on the spot there a little bit.
Yeah, you did. And I've not recorded for Nancy Drew in probably like a year and a half, if not more. So it is much like my Spanish in high school, out the window.
Oh my. But wait, so you did have some lines in check in the game.
Yes.
So did you have to like what did you have to do to learn that?
So obviously we don't want like you know, bonjour, mon ami. We don't
Yeah.
want anything like that.
Yeah.
And what we did was we found someone from the Czech Republic and from Prague specifically to say these lines in their native tongue. And then I mimicked the lines
Oh,
until I had the pronunciation, the way the placement of the sound and the you know, the tongue rolling, so to speak,
wow.
uh, down, and then we would add the acting on top of that. So
Wow. That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah. I mean, you're a vocal chameleon. I'm a little chameleon. I'm just a little guy with two little eyes, two separate expressions. Um, no, what was it? It was, oh God. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I can't talk about that. But there's some crazy stuff that you have to mimic and say. Um, not crazy. I mean, it's just another language, but you are tasked to sound like a native speaker of that
Mhm.
language, and you know, there are challenges that come with that. So,
Yeah, it sounds
yeah.
really difficult.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
thankfully, we had all the tools at our disposal, and the production was very keen on making it sound as realistic and natural and high quality as possible.
I love
So,
that.
thankful to everyone there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really fun. Is there anything that you can tell us from like your time with Her Interactive of like again like something that stood out to you as like really special or really fun?
Getting to do multiple voices for a reason that you guys
Mm.
both know. Because I told them that I really wanted to voice a particular kind of goofy character at some point. You know, we're sharing our vulnerabilities, me and her, interactive. Um, and I wanted to be vulnerable and be like, let me voice grandma. And they're like, well, do I have the thing for you? And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so if anybody hasn't played the game, you're gonna be like, what are you talking
What
about?
the hell are you talking about?
If you know, you know. Oh my. But okay, a little follow up to that then. Would you like for a future Nancy Drew game, would you want to come back and do more voices for them?
I mean, yeah, that's really cool. I love this franchise, and they took a risk
Yeah.
on me. You know, I think we had like, I don't know if I could say that. Um,
Let's say it then.
I won't say it. If I'm feeling like my gut instinct is no, then
Yeah,
no.
no.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Her Interactive wants to bring me back for an update or a new installment or a whatever, I'm here with you and I'm ready for
That'd
it.
be
So,
cool. That would
yeah.
be cool. So, little message to the people of Her Interactive. We want Kieran Regan back. Um, if you could make that happen, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Signed, Love Click Crew.
Yeah. Love the crew. Love the fan base. With love, XOXO.
Literally, this is my little letter.
Yeah. Please
So
don't.
yeah, just
Please don't be
just
mean.
make that happen. Thank you. Bye. Anyway,
Um,
sorry. Your turn, Eliza.
did you ever, like when you were doing recordings for the game, did you ever get the chance to meet the other voice actors at all? Or is it just kind of like a passing, you come in and then it's like someone else's turn kind of thing?
Well, at that time, COVID protocols were very much in place.
Mm.
So if we're going in, everyone's wearing masks and no one's recording with each other. So, and they generally leave about like 15 minutes in between recording sessions to desanitize the room,
Mm.
sanitize the room, I
Yeah,
forget.
don't desanitize the room.
I don't
That's you
these.
going in going like, on all
Yeah,
that
yeah. Gross.
stuff.
Yeah, no, they lick everything. No wonder it was so wet and humid. Um, no, so COVID protocols were still very much in place, and so I did not really get a chance to meet any of the other voice actors.
Mm,
Um, hopefully that changes going forward.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Have you ever done any work that you just ended up not enjoying?
Yeah, it's
Can
a
you tell us?
it's a job. I'm trying to see what work. There are some audiobooks out there that were definitely a slog to get through. That's
Mm,
for certain. Um, I don't know. I get so much joy out of this career that there is very few projects that I'm just like, ugh. Um,
that's good.
and there were definitely a few audiobooks that they were like, okay, this is very clearly just translated from whatever the original language was into English. Punctuation's a mess. There's no there's no tense. The speakers are all crazy. Things are happening for no reason, and you have to now make organization out of that. And so
Good luck.
yeah, yeah, basically have fun, have a great summer, good luck. Um yeah, there were definitely some early projects, early audiobooks that I took on that were just like, I would not do that again unless I was
Mhm.
paid more. But you need to make rent somehow, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm such an audiobook person. I love to listen to audiobooks because I have such a busy life that like I can't read, I can't like sit down and read, but I'll like put on an audiobook while I'm doing the dishes or something like that.
Hmm.
But like I can't every time I'm listening to an audiobook now, I'm thinking about like because I've met so many of voice actors in doing my podcast and helping Alexa with hers. I just always think about like I can't imagine what these guys are going through in the background. Like there's so much going on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a whole performance style, and
Yeah.
there's you have to come up with character voices that sound reasonable and believable, but aren't too loud, but aren't too quiet.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of technical jargon, um,
Yeah.
that one you need to say and two you need to know.
Yeah.
Like I did this medical explainer video, and some of the words uh I had to say were kind of crazy. Um,
Thanks.
I mean, there's some crazy words out there. I have this condition, and I always remember it, even though it hasn't like been a problem since high school, where my bones grow tumors, uh, and specifically tumors in the shape of hooks. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, it's like a superpower.
dang.
Scaring me from the inside out. But I've been probably saying it wrong for the past 10 years, but it's called pendicular osteochondroma. And uh that was it was that, and then my dad won the spelling bee in his high school for spelling the word anti-disestablishmentarianism. Um
Nice.
yeah, and so he forced us to memorize it as well
Hmm.
because
That
he
word specifically or words
yeah.
in general? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I know how to
Okay.
spell that, and it's a stupid party trick.
My husband always jokes that I married him because of the he got for winning the elementary school spelling bee.
Incredible.
Have to bring him in here and tell you what word he won with.
Yeah. I lost on, oh God, elementary school. I think I lost on navigate. It's just so
Really?
dumb. No, it was some ship thing. Oh God, what was it? Oh, maybe it was circumnavigate. That might have been it.
That would have been harder, yeah.
I think I said SIR instead of CIR.
Oh no. Oh well.
Curse you, sixth grade me, for being an idiot.
It's okay. Obviously, it didn't hold you back.
No, it did. It did. Who knows where I would be if I won the spelling bee?
Oh, you would have way more jobs now.
You're
You'd
so
have,
right. You're
you would
so
never have to do one of those awful audiobooks again.
so right. And I could hold it over everyone's head like a tyrant. Oh, did you win your spelling bee? Sorry, only one of us here did.
Your back wall back there would just be your trophies.
Yeah. You see
Yeah.
this right here? It's like cut to like the size of a fucking real bee. Just a tiny little bee trophy.
I have
Oh,
an idea for you, Susie.
what's up?
I know that you've posted videos with you doing words and stuff with Liam.
Yes.
Do a video just like having him try to say like all these different words from like spelling bees and stuff
Oh goodness.
and and
He
see
would
if,
beat everybody.
I would love that.
He would beat sixth grade Kieran.
Oh, that's not really a high bar, so as we've established.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, my
Damn!
sorry. My guy's just he speaks pretty well and always impresses me and I'm really, really proud of him. So
Yeah, hell
gotta
yeah.
brag on my little guy.
Go on, Liam.
Yeah, I know.
Hello. There's a car horn honking outside. Oh, it's gone now. We're good.
Excellent.
out of all the locations that you've voiced for, have you ever been to any of those locations around the world?
Oh God. Uh,
And if you
yeah,
haven't, would you
I
want to
just
go?
I just came back from Japan and I voiced for characters that are in Japan. So that was pretty cool. In Tokyo. I went to Tokyo. Uh, which was awesome. Any anime basically, that
Mhm.
isn't set in like a fantasy land. Um, and then I went to Ireland. I was
Oh,
I voiced a character in an Irish thing at some point. Uh, that's about it. Yeah. I want to go to France at some point,
mm.
because my mom speaks French and lived there for a bit, and I wish I could just go. But right now with the Olympics, it's kind of crazy.
I forgot
So
about that.
yeah, right. With like
Yeah,
this, they're like pooping in the Seine. I don't know if you've heard
fun.
about that.
I
Have
do
you heard of it?
not.
Oh my God, no, Parisians are so upset about the Olympics coming because it's disrupting and they don't like tourists.
Oh,
So
of course.
Olympics have sworn that they would make the Seine, or Paris has sworn to the world and the Olympics that they would make the Seine swimmable, which is the main river that goes through Paris.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been swimmable in 100 years.
Yeah.
Level of E. coli is off the charts.
It's disgusting, right?
It's
Yeah.
disgusting. And so they've been going through like like couple year long project to make an offshoot tank to decontaminate the Seine so that when heavy floods do come, the sewage water doesn't go into the Seine but goes into a tank.
Mm.
Um, that's huge. And
Yeah.
uh Parisians are so upset because the Seine still isn't swimmable and we're about like, I don't know, a couple weeks away. Uh,
Yeah.
the Parisians are so upset that they're like, well, to protest, we're gonna poop in the Seine. And then the mayor Macron, the president, is going to swim in it
Oh no.
because he said he'd swim in the Seine,
Oh God.
yeah, to prove that it's good to say and safe to swim in.
So when he like starts glowing or like drops dead.
Very Futurama.
Yeah, literally.
No, he
Oh
Oh
my
becomes
my
the
God,
God.
three-eyed fish from Simpsons.
and
Oh,
there's so many bed bugs too.
Yeah.
ew.
Like months ago, it was like I heard it on the radio and it was like so many bed bugs everywhere, and it was just crazy.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, I
fancy.
haven't heard about the bed bugs thing. All I've heard about is pooping in the sand because I think that's fun.
Just gets worse apparently.
So pooping and bed bugs sounds like a
Wow.
very bad kid children's book.
What a great place to visit.
Everybody poops in bed bugs.
Oh my
That
God.
just went really smelly really fast.
Yeah.
It didn't it?
Good times. Good times. Oh my word. Well, tell us about Japan then.
Japan was lovely. I want to go back. Everyone was nice. I got so many great like photos, so much good food, so many wonderful little trinkets. Um, the public transit system was great and not ass.
Unlike America, thanks.
Unlike America, yeah. Um, and oh my God, I love onsen. I love onsen so much. For those of you who don't know, onsen is where it's like a public bath. And it's super relaxing. It's very just like find your center, find your zen. And the even though we didn't get as much sleep as we wanted to, the onsen made up for it.
Mm.
If we're going to go back at some point, I still want to do karaoke somewhere in Tokyo. So
Oh, that's fun.
that's like a little bucket list goal of mine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you went there for a role, right?
Partially to meet
Yeah,
with clients and then for fun.
that's awesome. I
So
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Very, very cool.
Tax write-off.
Good on you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I don't think I have any other questions, really. Do you, Susie?
I just chat.
Fair.
I just come up with it on the fly. I didn't even review last time's. I was like, I'm just gonna wing it.
It was a fun it was fun. It felt like a
Yeah.
conversation, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So before we go, I have to know, um, do you feel like you know the game or the characters well enough that I could like play a short little game with you about them?
Ooh, I would be a coward if I said no. So I'm going
Okay.
to say yes, and I'm going to be proved a fool. But that,
No, it's a really easy little game. Okay, so on my channel,
Mhm.
I force people to do a lot of strange things. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
made this sound really weird. Okay,
Yeah, you
so
did.
I play this game with people, where it's Fight Mary Kiss, okay, but it's with Nancy Drew characters, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so it's really easy. It's so
Yeah.
easy, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so easy.
Okay, so basically, my thought here is that I would get you to play Fight Mary Kiss, but with Radek, Elka, and Oscar from the game. What do you think?
Okay. I got you. I got
Mm-hmm.
you. Ooh.
I know who I would do.
Ooh. I mean,
But
I
I'm
want
gonna
to hear
let
your answer too.
Give me a sec.
Kieran, I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna pull up some images here.
Good idea.
Uh, okay. Here we go. So, okay. Gotcha.
You should know your
Uh,
character pretty well.
who's my character? I do not
And
know
Susie, I
my.
want to hear your answer too.
Sure.
Okay, so what was it? It was fight, marry,
Kiss.
kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
So
no killing on my channel.
obviously I would fight myself.
Okay.
Um
Interesting.
because that's already indicative of what's already inside my head.
Oh my
Um
God.
and honestly, yeah, he could be bullied a little bit more. Uh and
How are
then
you achieving this? Oh my God.
I'd fight I would fight Radek.
Okay.
And then I would maybe I'd kiss Oscar. Uh yeah. I kiss Oscar just for
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd marry Elka.
There you go.
There you go. That's my choices here.
All right, Alexa, what are yours?
I'm gonna fight Elka, knowing
Excellent
who
choice.
she is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I would use something against her. If you know, you know. I would kiss Radek and marry Oscar.
Amazing.
Uh,
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. So I feel really on the spot here. I didn't anticipate that you guys were going to want to hear my answers as well.
mhm.
So basically, I have to fight Elka, even though she kind of had to become like a huge part of my personality for a lot of my content creation for like 3 months. So in fact, I just dressed up as her again today, but like I have to fight her.
I feel like I made the wrong choice here. The internet's gonna beat me up. They're gonna be
No,
like, fight Elka,
no,
no, fight Kieran.
no. No. Okay. I have trouble with this one because I actually really like both of the guys. Um I feel like I would probably kiss Oscar and marry Radek, but I feel like I could easily swap the two because I really did love both characters. So,
I was kind of
So
back and forth with that too. I'm like, who do I want to
yeah.
kiss? Who do I want to marry?
let's
Because I
They're
could
talk
go
both
back
about
and forth.
long term, like if we're talking Radek long term, like dude's not making any money.
No, I know. Little straight
So
performer.
if you marry him, you're not going into something that's super financially stable.
No, that sounds pretty familiar. Wow.
But
Yeah.
I will say, Radha can do some good Halloween scaring. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Okay. And like on Oscar. Okay. Anybody who has followed me for the amount of time since the game came out will know that I love Oscar because he just is so soothing. Like you go up to him and he's like, "Ah, Nancy." And I'm like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah, this is me. Ooh.
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
I do love him. Also, that guy's probably wealthy. I mean, look how he's dressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his
Come on,
job.
Oscar.
He's got a job. He has a job.
He has a job.
Yes. There you go. So that is the game that I make everybody play on my channel. I have a wheel and it spins and I like give people random characters, but I wasn't gonna do that for you.
That's very fair.
Mhm.
Uh, you could have done it between. You could have added Leo on there.
Oh, I did it with Leo for somebody. Who was that? I don't even remember. Somebody I added Leo in there and I was like, this is gonna be such a curveball, but everybody loves Leo.
Mm-hmm. He's great.
Oh,
I love
oh,
him.
there's so many great
He looks like Kermit
characters.
the Frog.
What?
He looks like Kermit.
No, he's
Yeah, he
just a
does.
sweet old man.
He looks like Kermit the Frog. Are you Kermit's sweet? He literally looks like Kermit. Oh my God.
Now I'm pulling up a picture. Hold on.
Oh, pull up a picture. He looks like Kermit the Frog.
Hang
Hi,
on.
everybody.
Do
He,
more Kermit the Frog impression while I'm looking this up.
I am in the Mystery of the Seven Keys. My favorite color is green, and I like the swamp.
a very
Oh,
sad
that's so
Kermit.
good.
I, I'm kind of depressed. I have to take anti-anxiety medication on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I see it.
Yeah, right? It's there.
Now I'm not gonna not see it.
You're so welcome.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. That's all I've got.
That's a fun way to end, I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming back. It was so great to talk to you again.
Yes, likewise. It's been done.
Are you able to share where people can follow you on social media?
Yeah. I just deleted my social media from my phone, so I'm probably gonna get this wrong. But Google my name and you'll find me.
Okay.
My name is spelled Kieran. A lot of people get that wrong.
Mm.
But that's how it's spelled. I'll do it one more time, slower. Kieran, as in Nancy Drew.
Oh,
But
pulled it together in the end.
yeah, it all comes full circle. It's all the way to the top.
How cute. Oh, wonderful. Well, that was super fun. Thank you so much for chatting with us and for being on both of our shows at the same time. That was so awesome of you.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks, y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.